Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chelsea and I am going to be making videos about motherhood, birth, postpartum, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'd love for you to subscribe, like this video, and come hang out with us for all our other videos. This is Kason. He is a little over 2 months now. So I thought today I would share our birth story. I have a birth video also that I plan on sharing. I don't know if it's going to come out before this one or next week, but I thought I'd kind of just talk about our birth story a little bit. So I did not take notes. I'm kind of just going to go off of memory. So some of it might be a little bit foggy, but that's okay. This is already my second attempt at this video, which is awesome. Because the first video, I thought it was recording and it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So this is our second attempt and hopefully the final attempt. Okay, so let's just jump into it. So he was born on July 6th after 9.5 hours of labor, which was pretty fast for my first one. And I was expecting it to be longer. However, I think what played a role in it being so short was that I had been leaking fluids for about 2 weeks, which is a long time. So I thought I was going to have him around 37 weeks when I first started leaking fluids. But, you know, each day would go on and he wasn't coming, so I was like, it could be another month. So it was a surprise when I finally did go into labor. So July 5th, the night before, we went to a fireworks show. And then we stayed up super late, which we never do. We normally are in bed by like 9:30. And we went to bed at like 11:30. And then I went into labor at 4 in the morning on July 6th. So that was really fun. Of course, that's how it would work. So basically, I woke up and I felt like I was laying in a puddle of water. And like I said, I had been leaking, so I was like kind of always feeling a little wet down there, which by the way, I guess I should say, I'm going to just give all the details. I'm not going to hold anything back. So it felt like I was in a puddle of water. So I was like, oh, that's weird. So I got up and went to the bathroom and then I peed and then like a bigger gush came out. So I was like, okay, I think I'm like really losing like the rest of my waters. Because your waters can leak and reseal, but this was like a large amount. So that happened. Just checking on my little puppy. I just fed him, but he's hungry, I guess. So then I started going to the bathroom a lot. Like I had like the runs basically, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. You know, maybe my body's clearing itself out. And I literally went to the bathroom like 7 times and it was all like the runs basically. So it's like, okay, this is interesting. I had Depends that I had bought for postpartum, so I literally put one on because I couldn't walk without leaking water and I wasn't gonna just like get water all over the house throughout my labor. So I put Depends on so it would catch all the water. So after that, I basically I tried to get back into bed because it was only like 4:15, 4:30 now at this point. And I was like, well, I want to try to sleep as much as I can. This could be long. I don't really know if it's the real deal either because I had had a few like weird cramps, contractions before this. And that's what it was feeling like at this point, was just like period cramps, nothing crazy. So I tried to lay down, and as soon as I laid down, it was just too intense and uncomfortable. And I just shot right back up. I was like, yeah, it's not going to work. So I was like, I guess I'm awake. So and my husband woke up at that time because he's a light sleeper. So we went downstairs, and it was obviously still dark because it's like 4:30 in the morning at this point. And we went downstairs, and we kept all the lights off pretty much. He made me some food and I put on Our Planet on Netflix because I just wanted some background noise, something to distract myself, but that was like quiet and peaceful and not like overstimulating. So we put on Our Planet And then after that, let's see, just kept watching that. And I labored downstairs for the next like few hours. They started to kind of pick up in intensity, and then they got closer together. Still feeling like a period cramp, but stronger at this point. But they were still all in my like pelvic area. So he called work and said my wife's in labor, because I was like, okay, clearly they're not going away. This is probably the real deal. So I'm just watching our planet, but every time a contraction would come and I have to get up, I felt like I was being like thrown. Like I had to just get up and like brace myself and like lean over something. Basically, that's how it felt. I might have to feed him. I felt like I had to brace myself and just like lean over something. So I'd get up, I'd lean over the TV entertainment center, I'd lean over the couch, and then after it was done, I'd lay back down on the couch and watch TV. Then, as time goes on, they're starting to get closer together. And I thought going into it, like, I'd want my husband to be very affectionate, and like, I thought I was gonna want him to massage me and just like try all these different things. I'm gonna have to feed him like hip squeezes and stuff like that. But hang on a second. But he would try that, and I wanted nothing to do with it. It did not feel good. It was too overstimulating. I just needed to be in my zone by myself without being touched or talked to or anything like that. So yeah, he tried, but I just did not like it. So every time I would have one, like I said, I'd get up on the couch or something like that and like brace myself. And they just started getting closer and closer together. So now at this point, we'll fast forward to about 11 a.m. 10:30, 11, probably around there. I started to get nauseous. And so I was like, I need a bowl, I feel nauseous. So I had the bowl, my couch is right here, there's an end table. So we put the bowl on the end table. And I felt like with each contraction I was like heaving. I thought I was gonna puke, but I couldn't puke even though I felt so nauseous. So at this point, he goes upstairs and he's like, I think I should fill the pool up. I'm like, yeah, probably, just in case. Because the plan was to birth in the pool if I felt like I wanted to, and I'd have it in my bedroom. So he goes upstairs, blows up the pool, puts like blankets over the window so that's nice and dark, because at this point now it's light outside. He puts on my birth playlist, which I made, which was just like a bunch of Christian music. We'll get to that in a second. So it's probably about 11 at this point. I'm like, okay, I want to go upstairs. So make my way upstairs. I take off, all I was wearing was the Depends diaper, which honestly, those are so freaking comfortable. If they were sexy, I would wear them all the time because they're so comfortable, but they're not. So anyway, took off the Depends, took off like the pajama t-shirt I was wearing, got in the pool. It felt really good. I wasn't, sure how much pain relief I'd get from the pool. I wouldn't say it really relieved any pain, but what was nice was that you just felt weightless. Like I just felt like I could kind of, just kind of float around in there, and I didn't feel like I had to hold myself up so much. I could just kind of relax a little bit, but it didn't decrease the pain at all. So anyway, so I got in the pool. I was in the pool for about 20 minutes, I would say. And yeah, so for about 20 minutes. So, and then I just got the urge to get out. I was like, yeah, I think I want to get out. I don't know. It wasn't fun anymore. So I got right out. And at this point, they're back to back to back, like bam, 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 no break. It would be like, and they'd probably last like a minute. I don't know. I'm just guessing, probably around there. And then I'd get maybe like 2 seconds to catch my breath, and then bam, be hit with another one, just constant, no break. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna puke for real this time. And I did. Luckily I had the bowl. I'm on my hands and knees on the floor, and I puke like 5 times in a row. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was like, okay, we're probably getting a little closer here, because, you know, a lot of women in transition will puke or say I can't do it, something like that. And I wasn't at the point where I was saying I can't do it yet. In my head I was thinking it, but I wasn't vocalizing it yet. Like I wasn't ready to say the words, even though in my head I was like, fuck, can we just be done with this? So then, let's see. So yeah, I puked. And then at this point, I'm doing like everything to get comfortable. I'm like a mad woman. I'm rolling on the floor. I'm crawling to the bathroom. I'm doing all these crazy movements. You know, nothing's comfortable. And at this point, like, nothing is going to be comfortable, right? But you're trying to find some sort of relief. But literally nothing's working. But like I had kind of said earlier, the way the contractions felt was like as if they were just overcoming me. Almost like I was being, I don't know, just like, it was like, almost like I was like throwing up every time. Like, it just felt like my body was just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very hard to explain, but at this point, they're not feeling like period cramps anymore. They're not even, they're still in my lower like pelvic area, but they're almost like in your whole body, where it's just like your whole body's being thrown forward. And that's how I felt the whole time, was that I just had to brace myself, basically. He's sleeping now. And so that's the best way to describe it. So now, like I said, I'm crawling around in the bathroom. I'm back on the bed. I'm back in the bathroom. I get the urge to poop again, which, like I said, I had gone like 7 million times earlier. So I knew like there really wasn't much to come out, but I had the urge. So I got in the toilet and I'm like pushing like after the bathroom, but nothing's coming out. And I'm like, that's weird. And I wasn't really putting it together that I was like ready to push yet. Because in my head, I was expecting to feel all those sensations just in my crotch. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting to feel them in my butt. It literally felt like my butthole was gonna, like, freaking flip inside out or something. Like, it was so intense in my butt. And I guess I just wasn't expecting that. So I didn't quite think that I was, like, starting to push out my baby yet. It just, the two didn't really, it didn't click. So, you know, I'm still at this point having this intense pressure, but I know I'm not going to go to the bathroom because nothing's coming out. So I get off the toilet, just kind of like laying on the bathroom floor, but I keep pushing. It's this feeling that you can't resist it. It overcomes you, and you have to push. Like, it's just so, I don't know, it's an incredible feeling, but I just couldn't resist it. Like, I had to. And I was pushing so hard, but I couldn't not. It just overcame my body. So, at that point, I was like, I think I kind of want to get back into the pool. Maybe it'll just feel nice. I'm just so uncomfortable at this point. And at this point, I also said I can't do it. And so, when I said that, my husband had turned on the camera, and I asked him, hey, can you turn it on? He's like, I just did, which I'm so glad he did when he did, because I think we would have just got caught up in the moment and missed it altogether. So he turned it on to record, and I'm still pushing every contraction I get. I can't resist the urge. I'm pushing like so hard, and I keep saying like, oh, my butthole, like it was just so intense, and I wasn't expecting to feel it there. So I'm in the pool pushing still, and I reach down just to feel, and I feel like a little bulge. So I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And each time I push, I'm starting to feel him more like in, you know, my vagina now. So then I'm like, okay, I start to feel the ring of fire. And so and then I reach down again, and I feel the head right there starting to come out. And so I just keep pushing and pushing, and I keep feeling the ring of fire, which is very intense. Not as intense as the feeling in my butt though, which I wasn't expecting, but still nonetheless intense. So I just keep pushing. I'm doing my thing. Killian, my husband, is just sitting in the corner quietly watching like I wanted. Because like I said, any talking was way too overstimulating. Like if he would talk to me, I'd put my finger up and close my eyes and just be like, stop. Like I just couldn't. So the only thing he would do was like hand me a glass of water, offer me water, which was great because, you know, you really need to stay hydrated. And I did. So that was great. But I just could not be talked to. It was too much. So, yeah. So fast forward a little bit, I just keep pushing, doing my thing. I feel that his head is finally out. And then after his head, it was like one push and the rest of his body came out, which his body coming out was not painful. No ring of fire with that, just the head really. But it was such an interesting sensation too, his body coming out, because it was just so like overwhelming and intense, but not painful. It just felt so hard to explain. It was just like one swoosh and his whole body was out. And then the whole time I was laboring, let's just say this was the pool, I was leaning over onto the outside of the pool. So I asked him to hand him to me because I was in a weird position. So I said, can you get him and hand him to me? So he stepped in the pool, got him to give him to me, and he noticed the cord was wrapped around twice. It's called a double neutral cord. Not a big deal. He just literally unwrapped it. Very instinctual. Unwrapped it, handed him to me. He was screaming right away. His eyes were like wide open as soon as he came up out of the water, which was so interesting. I just will never forget his face, just so alert, wide-eyed, screaming. And brought him to my chest, leaned back and just kind of relaxed, and he latched right away, you know, nursed for a little bit. And I probably sat in the pool for like 10 minutes. He put a towel over the two of us, of course, skin to skin, and a towel just to kind of keep us warm, and I just kind of relaxed. And I think I said, pretty sure I said, all those people who doubted me can suck my dick. Because I was just like so proud of myself. Like it's such a badass feeling to just be like, damn, like I really did that on my own. No one had to tell me shit, and it's just awesome. So yeah, I said that, and I probably sat in there for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I want to get out. So he helped me onto the bed. I was shivering a lot. Part of that, you know, I was a little bit cold because I had gotten out of the pool, but also, you know, your body's just in a little bit of shock. It's a big event. So I was shivering. He put socks on me, put some blankets over the two of us, of course, still skin to skin, and laid there and just chilled. I never felt lightheaded. I never lost like an insane amount of blood. It just looked like a pretty average amount of blood, which, I mean, you can lose a ton of blood, and if you feel fine, you feel fine. It's not a big deal, but it just was like an average amount. So I laid in bed, and then after about 50-55 minutes went by, and I nursed him a little bit, and that started some contractions, which of course helps get the placenta out. And so I started getting uncomfortable from those contractions because it felt like what I had just been feeling in labor, and I was like, hell no, I want to try to get the placenta out. So got up out of bed and just squatted like on the floor over to the side of the bed over a bowl, and I put him on to nurse to stimulate some contractions, and I just like coughed and squatted and kind of like pushed a little bit, and it popped right into the bowl. Placenta has no bones, so it is not painful. It just feels like crazy because it is so big, but it's soft, but it just feels like, whoa, it just slithers out of you. It's it's a really bizarre feeling, but yeah, so that was really cool. Straightforward, to the point, nothing complicated. Got back into bed. We left casein and the placenta attached for about 2.5, almost 3 hours before we clamped the cord and cut it. So we knew, and it was limp and white by that time, so we knew he got all of his blood, and that was great. I really wanted to leave it attached for as long as possible, and 2.5 hours was great. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of my story. We ended up cutting the placenta into pieces so I could, and putting it in a like an ice tray so that I could just put one ice cube a day into a smoothie. Well, my husband did. And I had a placenta smoothie for 2 weeks. I think it contributed to me feeling, having energy and feeling good. But I don't know, maybe not, but regardless, it can't hurt you, so why not try it? But yeah, that from start to finish was about 9.5 hours. So pretty fast, but because it was so fast, it got very intense very quickly. And it was definitely the most intense, hardest thing I've ever done, but I just felt so proud of myself after. Like, you don't need drugs. You don't need someone touching you, putting your hands in you, telling you where you're at. You don't need someone telling you to push. That's just fucking insane. No one needs to tell you to push. Like, just like no one needs to tell you to go to the bathroom, So, yes, it was amazing. Honestly, nothing that I wish didn't happen, nothing I want to change. It just was straightforward. It was so simple, not easy by any means, very hard, but simple and straightforward and just instinctual. I just followed my instinct. I felt safe. I never felt fear. I felt pain, like, is this over yet? But I never felt fear because I was in a safe environment and I was respected. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know it was kind of a little bit all over the place, a little bit of rambling, but I didn't want to take notes and be reading it. I just kind of wanted to tell it how I recalled it from my memory. Bits of it are a little bit blurry because you're not in your rational brain when you give birth. So yes, that's my story. I plan on doing a postpartum video to come. Like I said, I want to share my birth video that we took also. One thing I want to say about that is the camera did stop recording. It only records 30 minutes at a time, which we didn't know. Thank God we didn't start it any earlier or it would have missed him actually coming out. But it cuts off like pretty shortly after Killian's handing him to me from the water. So that's a bummer because you don't really get to see us interacting after, but at least it caught that, so I'm grateful. But just when I do share that video. But yeah, I plan on posting once a week is my goal. If I miss a week because of mom life, it is what it is. But my goal is once a week. So I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, comment if you liked this video, comment if you have any questions about my birth. I'd love to hear from you guys, and let me know what you want to see in the next one. All right, I can't wait to hang out with you guys more, and see you on the next one. Bye guys.